Got a question. What are you passionate about? Are you doing what you're passionate about? Stay tuned for another episode of Let's Talk About It, where we talk about passion and doing what you're passionate about.
Catch 'em all.
Hey people, welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. On today's episode, I wanted to talk about passion. Most particularly, are you doing what you're passionate about? I got a surprise for you. Most people aren't. And most people don't find out what they're passionate about until later in life, like I did. I grew up in a household of 6 brothers, and each one of them were able-bodied and kind of knew what they wanted to do right off the bat. You know, I've got a brother in freelance. I have another brother who worked in the computer industry, in the banking industry. I even have a brother who worked in the finance industry. My passion has always been media driven. I started out my career path in sales, customer service, and I did that for 20 plus years, but it wasn't really my passion. I originally wanted to become a lawyer because I don't like to see people who are done wrong, and I wanted to be the voice for those people who were done wrong. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. My second love was music and media. And I didn't realize that passion until I got into college. In college, I was the resident DJ for my college. And nothing gave me more joy than to see people dance and have a good time to what I was playing. I've always loved music. As a matter of fact, my mom would tell me to keep me quiet. She bought me this little transistor radio and she put it in my crib. And at the time, I was recovering from surgery. I couldn't have been more than 2 years old, and I had 2 casts on my legs. And I loved it so much that I would knock my 2 feet together to the beat of the music. It was then and there that she realized, both my parents, my mom and dad, realized that music would be his passion. Now you fast forward a couple years into my teenage years and to my adulthood. I couldn't play sports really without it being modified. So I threw myself into music, especially music trivia. All I could study was about music. You know, who did this? Who wrote that? Who did this song? Who did that song? And the music history behind it. You name it, I knew it. Unfortunately, my dad didn't really see it that way. My dad was a really strict West Indian father, and if you know anything about the West Indian culture, it's mostly based on it's a culture based on education and regimentation. And he was like, "You'd never make any money doing that. You need to follow what you want it to be. You know, you need to follow the legal aspect." So I switched to law, and I'm going to tell you now, that wasn't for me. I couldn't, as much as I loved law, I couldn't sit there and defend anybody whom I knew deep down in my heart was guilty. But that's for another video. But when I discovered music, It made me feel good. It made me fit in. It made me feel like one of the crowd, one of the people. And I realized that I could use music to my advantage. I could use music to make people feel better. I could use music to make people notice me. And I know you shouldn't really care what other people think. But growing up, it did matter to me what people thought of me, because I was a differently able person and really didn't fit into, other people's holds, other people's, opinions. So I took up music. I took up music trivia. I took up DJing, and nothing made me feel more at home than music. So I guess what my question is to you guys today is, what is your passion? What are you passionate about? Are you living your passion? Are you doing your passion? I know some of my subscribers are in the nursing field, and I happen to know that one of my subscribers loves being a nurse because that's her passion. A lot of people don't follow their passion because they're afraid of what the other people might think. A lot of people don't follow their passion because they're afraid of failing. They're afraid of failure. As a matter of fact, Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, that someone asked him about that. Should you follow what you're passionate about? And he said, oh, absolutely not. Because passion leads to failure. Following your passion leads to failure. And I asked the question, what's so bad with failing as long as you learn from it? A wise man once told me, you learn more from failure than you do success. Success limits you. Success takes you here. And after that, there's no other place to go. Failure, as long as you learn from your mistakes, can take you to exponential bounds. I think too many people are more afraid of failure. And being afraid of failure can be detrimental to a person. Look at Michael Jackson. I know we talked about him in last week's episode with Thriller. But Michael was so afraid of failing that he was always coming up short with every album after Thriller. If you notice what I said last week about every album following Thriller, it was always one record short of topping Thriller. Had Michael just listened to his heart and did what he wanted to do and what he was passionate about, making good music, would have never happened, and I think Michael would have still been here. What are you guys passionate about? I'd love to know. What makes your heart sing? What makes you get up in the morning? Are you living and doing what you want to do? Or are you just following the status quo and doing what is expected of you? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. And as usual, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to give a shout out to my producer, my cousin Roger, who's in the UK. Without him, Let's Talk About It wouldn't be possible, and I thank him. I also thank my new subscribers to this page. This page is for you, and if you have a topic that you'd like to talk about, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And like I said before, like, share, and subscribe this content on the channel. Until next week's episode, peace. Catch 'em all.